Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really massive question, one that helps us think about our place in the universe and, honestly, the entire future of humanity.
Okay, let's just jump right in. When you think about meeting aliens, it brings up a huge problem, right? How would you even rank a civilization you know nothing about? You can forget about their culture or their biology. We'd need some kind of universal yardstick. And it turns out, one astrophysicist proposed exactly that. So picture this. It's 1964, right in the middle of the Cold War. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, what we call SETI, is just getting off the ground. And this Soviet astrophysicist, Nikolai Kardashev, comes up with a truly brilliant idea. He figured, let's classify civilizations not by their philosophy, but by the one thing every civilization, anywhere, will always need: energy. So here's the core concept. The more energy a civilization can control, the more advanced it is. It's simple, it's elegant, and it's all based on physics. It gives us a framework for what we might actually be looking for when we stare out into space. Now, Kardashev didn't just stop there. He laid out three main categories, and each one represents this just staggering, exponential leap in power, taking us from a planetary scale to a truly cosmic one. Let's break down how this all builds up. You start with mastering your home planet. Then you graduate to controlling your entire star. And finally, you command the power of your whole galaxy. All right, a Type 1 civilization. These are the masters of their domain. Just imagine a world that can stop hurricanes before they form, prevent earthquakes, or tap directly into the power of volcanoes. They're using every bit of energy their world has to offer, every sunbeam, every gust of wind. They have, for all practical purposes, total control of their planet. Okay, now get ready for a mind-blowing jump in scale. A Type 2 civilization isn't just using the sunlight that hits their planet, they're capturing the entire energy output of their star. I mean, think about that. They might build a giant structure, a Dyson Sphere, completely surrounding their sun to collect every last drop of energy. A civilization like this is basically immune to extinction. A giant asteroid heading their way, they could just vaporize it. Their star is about to die, they could literally move planets to a new solar system. And this is where we're talking about straight-up sci-fi gods. A Type 3 civilization commands the energy of its entire galaxy. They're drawing power from billions of stars, settling worlds across light years, and manipulating energy on a scale that we can barely even wrap our heads around. This is the Galactic Empire from Star Wars, a power that spans an entire galaxy. Okay, so after hearing about these planetary, stellar, and galactic super civilizations, you have to be asking the question, where are we? Where does humanity even fit on this ladder? Well, here's the humbling truth. We are not even on the scale yet. We're what you'd call a Type 0 civilization. Since we still get most of our power from burning fossil fuels, basically the energy from dead plants and animals, we haven't even reached that first rung on the ladder. We're not yet masters of our own planet. But we can get a little more specific. The legendary astronomer Carl Sagan actually came up with a formula to refine Kardashev Scale. And based on our planet's total energy consumption right now, humanity clocks in at about a 0.73. So hey, we're making progress, but we have a ways to go. So when do we level up? Well, according to the physicist Michio Kaku, if we play our cards right, we could hit Type 1 status in the next 100 to 200 years. The catch? To get there, we need to increase our energy production by over 100,000 times. It's a huge task, but maybe not an impossible one. Now, Kardashev himself figured a Type 3 civilization was probably the practical limit. But, humans being humans, other thinkers couldn't help but ask, what's next? They pushed the idea way, way further. And this is where things get really wild. You have a Type 4, which could harness the energy of an entire universe. A Type 5 could literally hop between different universes. And by the time you get to Type 7, you're talking about beings that are basically gods, creating and destroying realities. It's some seriously mind-bending stuff. But all of this assumes that the only way forward is bigger, more expansion, more energy. What if that's totally wrong? What if true advancement isn't about conquering outer space, but about mastering inner space? This is a fascinating alternative scale proposed by physicist John Barrow. He suggested that instead of going outwards, a civilization might progress inwards. First, they learn to manipulate molecules, then atoms, then the nuclei inside atoms, and maybe eventually the very fabric of space-time itself. It's a completely different idea of what advanced could even mean.
So let's circle back. The Kardashev scale is this cool hypothetical idea from over half a century ago. Why does it still grab our attention? Why is it still so important when we talk about the future?
Well, for one, it's not perfect. It makes some really big assumptions, like it assumes civilizations will always want more and more energy. But what about getting way more efficient? Our phones are way more powerful than the room-sized computers from the 60s, but use a tiny fraction of the power. And it also assumes civilizations want to be found. Maybe the smart ones stay quiet, hiding from cosmic threats. And that brings us right to the heart of it. The Kardashev scale really sharpens the famous Fermi paradox. If a Type 3 civilization existed in our galaxy, its energy use should make it as obvious as a lighthouse. We should see it everywhere. So where is everybody? The silence is just deafening. But maybe we're just being impatient. I love this quote from astrophysicist Pinch and Fawn. It perfectly sums up how little we've actually looked. He says, our search for alien signals so far is like taking one hot tub's worth of water out of all the Earth's oceans, not finding a fish, and deciding the ocean is empty. We've barely even started to look. In the end, the real power of the Kardashev scale isn't really about ranking aliens we might never meet. It's about us. It's a mirror. It gives us a potential roadmap, a challenge. It forces us to think about where humanity is headed and the incredible future we could have if we can just get through our own technological childhood. And that really is the final takeaway here. That jump from Type 0 to Type 1, it might just be the most dangerous step for any civilization. Some call it the Great Filter. It's the ultimate test of whether a species can achieve global cooperation and manage its planet sustainably. So the scale isn't just about energy, it's a measure of wisdom. The real question isn't just, can we reach Type 1? It's, do we have what it takes? Right now, the universe isn't giving any answers. It's up to us.